Stand by for introduction. And let's go introduce the commentators. Go announce. And go dance. Go dance. Go dance cam. Announce. Dance cam. Dance cam. Go announce countdown. Stand by, introduce officials. I don't see Lisa around anywhere. Maybe we'll just, yeah, she's there.
So we've had the countdown, and welcome to the third day of the FINA World Junior Championships in artistic swimming from the historic Quebec City. It's been a sensational championship so far, with 5 countries on the medal table, Japan leading the way with 5 golds and a silver.
Ask her to do a cartwheel.
Today,
Ask her to do a cartwheel.
It's another 3 events, starting with Duet Free Preliminaries, then the inaugural male
and
free
go officials.
solo, and later today, the team 3 preliminaries. Many of the medals awarded so far have been in the technical events, but I'm delighted to be joined by double Olympian Jacqueline Simoneau. So Jackie, what are the key differences between the technical and free program, and how is the approach managed by the coaches?
There are two main differences, one being that the routine is a lot longer than the technical duet, and two, with there being no required elements, oftentimes countries choose to show their most difficult moves in the free duet. So coaches have to ensure that the athletes are prepared physically to handle a routine of such caliber.
I was quite surprised when I looked at the start list, and I know you were as well, because we were chatting about it earlier, that quite a few of the athletes are different in the duet free compared with the duet technical. Is that a challenge for the coaches?
It might be, and it might not be as well. I guess it depends on how they approach their training, because of those who are in perhaps a technical team and those who aren't in a free team, it gives time for the coaches to have all 8 in pattern while the duet is out. So it could be a strategy for the coaches to balance training a little bit more, or it could even be just an opportunity to give more athletes an experience on a world stage.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. Rather than just to having that experience, it opens it out, and that experience is really valuable.
"15 seconds left on this one. Come out to announce start list." And start list coming your way. Go announce start list.
So the start list for the duet free routine preliminary. Slovakia drawn to swim first. It's a completely straight draw in the preliminaries compared with the finals.
30 seconds from entry.
There's only 12 that qualify for the finals, and then it's split down from the ones that qualify in the top 6 swim towards the end of the draw when it comes to the final.
15 seconds.
22 competitors, so really big field here, Jackie.
There really is. And what's key here, you really want to be able to try and stand out between
5
all
seconds
these
to
many
walk
duets
out.
here, because
3,
for the judges,
2,
it's quite a long
1.
time
Send
to
them.
sit
Go
down.
announce. Go
so
announce.
if you have a unique movement that you want to show, now is the time.
Representing Slovakia,
So we're going to start straight away with the duet from Slovakia, Teresa Dorizova, Linda McDonnell. This is the soundtrack from King Arthur, their fight with dark forces. 3 panels of judges looking at this from an artistic, an execution, and difficulty.
Slight timing on the Barracuda. Very difficult move indeed. Very good spacing so far. Nice long figure here. Coming into the third length. Ending with a strong spin. Good height, particularly near the end of the routine. A risky connection movement to finish here, especially when you're back-to-back and blind. And yet another lift. Well done here, the Slovakian duet.
Early start for them this morning, swimming first. The preparation time, we were talking about that as well earlier. Takes a long time, doesn't it, to get the hair gelled. They use gelatine, I'm sure a lot of you know that already, but it takes time to get the hair done, the headdresses on, the gelatine to set. So they would have been here very early this morning to train as well, on top of all of that. In your opinion, and this might be quite a difficult question for early on in the morning, especially with the new rules that are going to be coming in for next year, what's more important, high risk or time underneath the water?
With the new rules coming in, I'd have to say high risk, because you will be rewarded for the high degree of difficulty that you will perform, but you do have to execute it to a certain standard for it to count. So I think for athletes moving forward, it would be worth it for them to practice more and more of these high-risk movements.
Good answer. So that was the duet from Slovakia. Very enjoyable it was too. Teresa is 16 years of age, Linda 18. They've both been doing artistic swimming since the age of 6. They were part of the senior team at the World Championships earlier this year, so they've had a very busy year indeed with their coach, Monika Thuringerova. And they will be very hopeful to be at the next World Championships for seniors in Fukuoka, Japan next year. So total score is out of 100, and you'll see it split between execution, artistic impression, difficulty. So that's 76.6331. They look delighted with that score. Artistic impression counting for 40% of the overall score, difficulty and execution 30% each. And that's because the artistic side is more important than the, or as important really as the technical, more important than the required element routines. And now the duet from Greece, Eleni Frikaki, Kristeliania Gelama. This is Sharks. Music, epic action, adventure. They want to dominate like sharks do.
Strong height and spin. Swimming with such intent. really never do stop, do they? Don't get a break at all in this routine. It's truly captivating. Great use of the tempo of the music here, all their figures. They have not lost their energy at all. Building up, even at the end. Wow, fantastic portrayment of the sharks here by the two from Greece.
I love the way they bring the theme of sharks into the headdresses as well. Very, very clever. I love the choreography, the composition of the routine. It was certainly packed with content, wasn't it, Jackie, as you said? And a lot of difficulty with a lot of off-vertical work as well. Coached by Anastasia Goodseva and Barbara Ithathiotti. Just out of the medals at the European Junior Championships earlier this year. So their score was 83.166 just a few weeks ago. It will be interesting to see what the judges now mark it as. I thought it was a very good swim.
It certainly was, I agree with you. Very strong, very energetic, and packed with lots of difficulty.
Yep. Stunning costumes always for artistic swimming. Oh, 83.466. So that is indeed an improvement on their score earlier this year. And that has set the bar very high indeed. 33.466 for artistic impression. Finished 5th in the duet technical yesterday. So they've had a very busy few days doing technical and free.
Please welcome competitors number 3, representing Chile, Soledad Garcia and Trinidad Garcia.
Soledad and Trinidad Garcia, 18-year-old twins. And this is their interpretation of Aladdin. They love their Disney films.
Wow, very difficult start for the twins here. Well executed as well. A blind connection. Always a very high-risk movement, followed by a lift twist. Excellent timing on the spin down. Spacing has got a little bit big here. They're going to want to try and get a little bit closer as they come into the figure. And they did.
So that's when they're back to back, so they can't actually see each other. And they have to get the right level exactly on the leg. They didn't quite get it with the feet today. How do you practice that? Because it is such high risk, isn't it? So easy to go wrong.
It really is a difficult movement. First of all, you need to ensure that you're close enough together, because if you are too far, you will
Fourth to swim from Egypt, Farida Abdelbari, Sondos Mohammed. This is African dance.
double lift. school. Already midway through their second length here. Into a split lift, showing that flexibility. Change in facial expression to match with the music. Good spin down. Slight issues with the line here in one of the swimmers. Good control of the top leg. Slightly different timing here to finish from Egypt, but overall, good swim.
They chose that music because they really like to reflect who they are, their culture and their heritage. How much say do a duet get in the choice of music compared with a soloist?
Perhaps not as much because, of course, there are more people involved and you need to all agree on the music. But if you have a good working connection with your duet partner and with your coach, I don't think it'd be very difficult to find music that everybody enjoys.
And in the duet free program, there's no set number of highlights that you can do. You can do as many as you like, but it's really important, isn't it, to have balance of highlights, difficulty, execution of hybrids to get an all-round performance. So if you were to get in and do, slight exaggeration, but 25 acrobatic moves, you wouldn't necessarily get that good at school.
Exactly. You want to be able to show a diverse routine, as you mentioned, Andrea. Your capability to show those highlights, but also those difficult moves together as a pair.
It's their first time representing in a duet international. A different duet from the technical program. So scores will hopefully be shown fairly soon. Here we go, 74.866, fourth place. Well done to the coaches, Noor El Effendi, Hannah Gohar, and also to Anastasia Chepak for the original choreography. So more twins, Daniela and Gabriela Milano from Colombia. This is Rock Dolls music, Cry for the Moon, for the 17-year-olds.
Good off angle. interesting connection here. Off-angle spin. And well executed. Both panels will take note. Another very difficult movement, nova to vertical. Another high-risk movement, connection with the legs. Excellent build-up with the music to finish the twins.
They were really using the expression on their faces to support the music, weren't they? When you were swimming, did you prefer to use softer music or hard music?
It really depends on the type of routine that we are swimming. Technical always seems to be more of a joyous and happy routine, and free, you want to appear strong and powerful, and often at times that helps with more of an aggressive type of facial expression.
I just remember your lovely smile whenever you used to swim.
Why, thank you. Is there something that you like to swim to in the Masters, whether it be more of a happy music?
I like to have something where you can tell a story. So my last piece of music was Phantom of the Opera, because that is my favourite musical anyway. So it makes the choreography slightly easier, doesn't it, if you feel like you're telling a story. Having said that, my music now isn't storytelling at all, so yeah, I just like the music.
Scores for competitors number 5 will be announced shortly. Notes for competitors
Got a
number
good swim
5.
there from Colombia. They've been doing artistic swimming since the age of 9. Their score, 75.2333. Third place.
In difficulty, en difficulté 22.5000 pour un total de routine de 75.2333. Please welcome competitors number 6, representing Canada, Leonie Corbeil and Mia Fortin.
So Leonie Corbeil, Mia Fortin from Canada. Eagerly anticipated. And this is their homage to Japanese culture.
This is the Olympic duet routine that was performed at the Tokyo Olympics.
By you, Jackie, wasn't it? So
was.
you know this very well, so I will leave the floor open to you.
I'll know what to look for here. Very difficult sustained spin to begin with. Notice at all the double arms that these two have in their routine. Definitely adds to the difficulty mark, including all the double ballet legs. Good timing on the spin. Quite a bit of a timing issue on the Barracuda, but they caught it right back up. Another double leg spin. This is a very difficult routine. Double legs, followed by an off-angle spin. Not quite the same height. Well done by the Canadians. You can tell that the crowd is very proud of those two.
Yes, and they should be very proud of themselves. Must have brought back a lot of memories for you, Jacqueline, watching that. Great choice of music by Audio Machine. We were talking about music before, and that is Audio Machine, always one of my favorites. That was a previous solo for me. But they're a new duet representing Canada for the first time internationally. Did you spot any changes to the choreography from when you did it? So Jackie is now looking at me and nodding, which you can't actually see on the television, but I think the answer must be yes.
Definitely yes. As this is an Olympic routine, we often tend to pack a lot of difficulty at an Olympic level, and it is very difficult for the juniors to be able to perform it. So they did simplify it a little bit, slow it down, but it still remained a very difficult routine to perform.
Yeah, and that really shone through, and they did a good job.
They did.
And what an honour for them to be swimming the Olympic duet, even with slight adaptations.
It always is fun.
82.300, that puts them second behind Greece at the moment. Remember, this is the preliminaries, so this is all about qualifying for the top 12 and for the top nations trying to get into that top 6 for a better draw. Or a different draw. It shouldn't really make much difference to draw, should it? But everybody does like to be in the latter half if they can.
It definitely does make a difference when you are going into a warm-up. You want to have as much time between your warm-up and the competition.
So, the duet from Austria. Naomi Araka, Valentina Strasberger. Music, Thriller, I'm sure you recognize it, Zombies Dance.
Right off the shoulders. That iconic movement by Michael Jackson. their figures really are to the beat of the music. Good spin. Excellent highlight. Very creative walking movement. Slight timing to finish the figure. What an entertaining duet from Austria.
They just made finals in the European Junior Championships, and they have come here with the same aim. So very much hoping to be in the top 12. You can't have a Michael Jackson Thriller routine without having a bit of moonwalking in it, can you? That had to be included. I was just waiting for it to come along. But you could really see that they've analysed the video of the dance moves and the hand movements as well.
It's always fun when you can see some of those iconic movements incorporated into a routine.
Showed a lot of personality throughout this. I thought their presentation was really good. They wanted some fun music to show their fun side, but also their strength as well, and I think that really came across. Coached by Jelika Vasic, choreography, Eugenia Kutsudi. So their last score a few weeks ago was 75.433. And they've had an increase on that, 76.300. And that puts them fourth. They now have a waiting game to find out whether that's going to be good enough to get them into the top 12 or not. Could be borderline. The free duet from France, Sacha Comte, Manon Venturi. Their theme is Angels. Two different pieces of music to express two sides of angels.
Excellent height. Great isolation of movements here. degree of difficulty to end the first length. Beautiful off-angle spin. Slight differences on angles on the way out. They brought it right back together. Slight timing issues, a little detail of the legs. This is when the swimmers are the most tired, yet they're still pushing through right to the end. Beautiful performance from the French duet.
Yeah, there were so many strong hybrids in that. I felt where they let themselves down, and you mentioned it the one time, but there was a few times on the torpedo scull that one time they actually came out different angles and almost crashed into each other. And then the second time they did the complete opposite and went apart from each other. So it's really important, isn't it, to stay close, keep those angles the same, because you should be close, but you shouldn't be touching unless it's specifically for a connected action.
Exactly, and that is a difficult part here, especially when you come to a different country in a different pool. You have to rework all those angles to be parallel once again. Not that all the hard work has gone down the drain, but it's just a matter of refinement that you come out on the same angles.
So score to beat if they want to go first is 83.466 for Greece.
Notes will be announced shortly.
A different duet than in the technical yesterday when they took the bronze medal. That was Oriane Jaladon and Romain Linel. Fifth at the Junior Championships recently in Europe. 82.9 was their score there. They're really keeping them waiting a long time for these scores. That's a long time to stand there when they will be absolutely exhausted.
At that moment, as a swimmer's perspective, all you want to do is just cool down and try and let the acid lactic out of your body at that point.
And if it was you, go and eat chocolate.
Yes. But these swimmers are being very patient.
They are. And the coaches as well, Delphine Marichal, Marianne Quinn. Choreography was assisted by Julie Farber as well. I don't know what the delay is. It doesn't normally take this long because there aren't any required elements unless they're reviewing something underneath the water or...
Now we ask judges to please re-enter your marks.
Oh, the judges have to re-enter their marks, so it sounds to me like it's a technical issue because I didn't see anything in the duet that would be a problem.
Nor did I. That's with technology these days. Sometimes there are glitches.
Please, people in the stands, a round of applause for our athletes.
They're being very patient indeed. Plenty of support for the French duet.
Scores for competitors number 8. Une note pour les concurrentes numéro 8. In execution. En exécution.
So 84.9, a score worth waiting for. That is 2 points more than they scored at the European Junior Championships, so a massive improvement for them. That moves them ahead of Greece, who were just ahead of them at the European Juniors.
Please welcome competitors number 9, representing Liechtenstein, Nohi Kataria Michel and Nadina Maria Klasa.
So they've had a long wait behind the scenes. All adds to the nerves. But we welcome finally Liechtenstein. Naomi Buchel, Nadina Klauser. Another duet that was choreographed originally for the Olympic Games in Tokyo. This is Japanese astrology.
Great first lift. Followed by another. Very creative partner work here. Excellent, Barracuda. Still a great amount of power midway through the routine. Excellent spin. This is very difficult to synchronize, and they have done it. they have executed this Olympic duet very, very well.
It was very impressive, wasn't it? They have swam a duet for a long time together. They grew up together, do a lot of their training in Switzerland at the Buchs Club. They've been competing as seniors as well this year. And looking at their scores, the way they've increased over the last couple of months alone, they've gone from a 77.9 to a 79.4. I wonder if they're going to actually get over the 80 this time.
I have a feeling they might today. It's
Me
a very
too.
strong swim.
Coached by Chiara Camiganato. Choreography, Francesca Zampieri and Olga Filipchuk. They finished 11th, so they made the final at the European Senior Championships, which is a real feat as a junior, and they really should be congratulated for their performances this year.
Execution on execution, 23.8000.
Oh, that's a shame. It hasn't gone over 80, but 78.8667. Apologies that you can't see that on your screen at the moment, but it is still good enough for fourth.
Pour un pointage de routine de 78.8667.
Hopefully next year they will move into the 80s.
Perhaps, or even for the finals if they make it
Of
here.
course, yes. Just have to wait and see if they make it.
Yes, I think they do have that potential.
Me too.
Tara Bennett and Zoe Poulis.
So from Australia, Tara Bennett, Zoe Poulis. Upbeat battle by roundtable rival.
A little bit of execution on the spin down from one of the swimmers. But excellent height to end the figure. A little bit of a timing issue into the figure. But they do catch it back up. Blind connection movement. A little bit far apart to finish. Great flexibility. A bit of timing here. Also comes with the fatigue. So you can see the loss of the body line here from one of the swimmers. But overall, well done for Australia.
That was a shame. Right at the very, very end, I mean, that was a pretty major error on the execution, but she'll know that as well, and it's a horrible feeling when you're upside down spinning around and you know that you've lost your body alignment, and there's not a lot that you can do about it. It's so hard to correct once it starts going wrong. They're just 17 and 16 years of age. Both swim for the Gold Coast Mermaids. Coach Emmanuel Marsh is from the Sydney Emeralds Club, and Rebecca Maher, she's Golden Fish in Melbourne. I noticed that quite a few times when they were doing some of the leg movements, when the body was at the surface as well, that one of them had the head underneath while the other one was at the surface. It's the intricate things like that that actually make a big difference, don't they? You know, either your head should be above the water or both underneath, and that happened a few times in the performance, I felt.
That really did. You were good to point that out. And that really comes from the coaching.
So 71.0, 10th place for the Australian pair. I'm sure they'll continue to work hard together to move up to the senior ranks, and look forward to following their progress.
Please welcome the competitor number 10. Veuillez accueillir les concurrents numéro 11. Competitors number 11 representing Italy.
From Italy, Alizia Macchi, Susanna Pedotti. I've seen this routine many times before and I love it. It's Cruella. The music, call me Cruella.
Come ti chiami? Cruella.
Beautiful thrust and control. Truly are like one performing together. Great timing and execution. The judges will certainly appreciate that. Great build up with the music. Excellent performance here from Italy. What great storytelling.
It was fabulous, wasn't it? They've had such a good World Junior Championship so far. Susanna Pedotti, who we've just seen in the duet, won the silver in the solo technical, plus they've won 3 bronzes as well. Different duet than technical, so they have decided to split it. I don't normally like it when they wear caps instead of headdresses, but I really did on this because it suited the whole Cruella thing, didn't it? And it created real impact that sometimes it was white, sometimes it was black.
It really did. It was the whole part of the performance, and that cap really fit perfectly in there. And as a swimmer, as a plus, that means you don't have to gel your hair. So a little bit extra sleep in the morning for these two.
A very big plus. Took a bronze medal at the European Juniors. It was 84.866 at that time. 85.200, putting them ahead of France and Greece. So for sure they will be in the top 6, I think, for the finals. Choreography, Stefania Speroni, who does a lot for quite a few countries, coached here by Benedetta Parisella, Elisa Plaison and Rosanna Rocchi. And the United States of America, Elisa Brunel, Ella Rao, the team Techno.
Great showcase of flexibility.
I'm OG, y'all new to the game.
Great spacing so far. Not quite the same. They do have some pattern changes. A little bit of a timing issue here on the Barracuda. They're back for the figure. Control the legs. Another great display of flexibility. good swim here, the United States of America.
Yes, they're a fairly new pairing. It's the first time that they've actually swam together. Choreography has been used before, choreographed by Andrea Fuentes for the senior duet. And they really enjoy swimming to it because of the high energy. And that really shone through. It wasn't perfect. I'm sure everyone could see that there were a few errors, but there was a lot that was good about it as well. And some of those hybrids were really nice. Great coaching team. Megan Ibaka, Daniela Garmendia, Lara Teixeira. Coaches work so hard with their swimmers, don't they? And it's really hard for them to be standing on poolside just watching, especially if the timing starts going wrong.
It really is, because it's entirely out of their hands at that point. They've done all they could.
Again, chose to have a different duet than in technical. .81.100 fifth place at the moment. A pretty good score considering they haven't been together that long. And certainly should be good enough to get them into finals where hopefully they can analyse what they've done and improve on some of those synchronization errors.
Exactly, because those will be quite easy to fix for the final.
So over halfway through the duet free preliminaries. And next to swim from Great Britain, Eleanor Blinkhorn and Evie Walker. Their routine is flamenco.
Beautiful swimsuits. Good spin, well executed. Difficulty and execution panel. We'll be looking at that. And yet another spin. Slightly different heights on the Barracuda. Beautiful connection movements. Timing, a little bit of body line at the end. currently building up with the music. Excellent duet from Great Britain.
I was really impressed with that swim, and it was so lovely to watch that duet again. It was choreographed for the Olympic Games, and it was swum by Kate Shortman and Isabel Thorpe. I thought they did a brilliant job, and they must be so, so proud to be stepping up to swim the Olympic duet just a year later. And obviously they're so much younger, and overall their posture was good. A lot of the timing was good. They have a new pairing this year. Eleanor is from the Reading Royals, Evie from Stockport Metro. So they live a long way apart, but because they're swimming together this year, they've actually become really good friends as well. They made finals at the European Juniors, where they were finished 10th. Their score there, 77. They were congratulated there by Paula Basso, who works incredibly hard with them. 77.7, so an increase over earlier this year. They will just have to wait and see whether that's going to be enough to get them into the finals at a World Junior Championships. But regardless, they should be proud.
They really should be. They executed that Olympic duet very well.
Good to see the British fans here.
Please welcome competitors number 14, representing Peru, Camila Fernandez and Lia Luna.
The duet from Peru, Camila Fernandez, Lia Luna. Robotic Spider Factory. Music, Hypertension. Interested to see this choreography.
Good spin. Very creative foot movements. Excellent height. Very high risk connection movement. Executed beautifully. And another highlight with a spin. Great control of the legs, even through the end of the routine. Wonderful swim by the Peruvian duet.
It's so great to see new countries coming into the sport at a sort of a world level.
It really is. And they're already performing at such a high level early on for the Santiago Pan Am Games.
They want to be a really strong nation in artistic swimming, and you know, it's athletes like this that lead the way, really, isn't it, across their country, because the sport grows with success, and the fact that they're here competing in a World Junior Championship, I think will do a lot of good for the sport in Peru. They have competed before, third at the South American and Bolivarian Championships, but of course this is their debut here.
The scores are competitors number 14, les notes pour les concurrents numéro 14. In execution, en exécution, 21.3000.
72.033. 13th place. They look very pleased with the scores, I thought, so that's good to see as they sort of move up through the rankings. So I can confirm that Italy, France and Greece have definitely qualified for the final so far. And also, actually, I think Canada are also just in now. As we move on to Mexico. Daniela Avilavia, Fernanda Galo Vasquez.
Very energetic start. Beautiful amplitude of the movement. Great thrust catch that has a high degree of difficulty, right in followed by a high risk connection movement. Still demonstrating great control. What a performance. The talented swimmers of Mexico.
Yes, absolutely. Very talented. Friends since they were 6 years old. And finally swimming the duet together. She looks exhausted at the end of that performance. It is such hard work, this sport. And you're supposed to make it look as easy as possible, but don't let that dull you into thinking that this sport is easy, because it is incredibly difficult. Really good on the connected leg there. It was good height, wasn't it?
It certainly was. Again, that is a high-risk movement. They must have been working very hard to get that today.
They are the national champions. So from a timing point of view, it's all the little things, the feet going underneath the water, the feet coming out of the water, the heads going under exactly the same time. What tips could you give to somebody that was coaching to help them with that synchronization?
I would say do not hesitate to use video. Nowadays with technology, most of us have a smartphone, even access to a tablet, and utilize that to watch the video in slow motion, because oftentimes the routines go by so quickly you don't see it at normal speed. So you could use the slow motion to truly analyze every movement.
Very good advice. 81.266. So that puts them ahead of the USA, just behind Canada. So they will have qualified for the finals. You can see they're absolutely delighted with that result. But they'll have to do it all over again in the finals.
From the Republic of Korea, Seong-Chu and Si-Young.
From the Republic of Korea, Si-Young-Che, Si-Yang. This is White Swan, Black Swan from Swan Lake.
Beautiful flexibility. Excellent partner pushes. A little bit of a height difference in timing. Very graceful swimmers in the water. Difficult sustained twist, followed by a spin. Very minor differences in angles. Well done. Excellent stability from the legs. has gone a little bit wide. Angles that were a little different. They brought it right back together. Excellent. What grace and showcase of Swan Lake from South Korea.
Beautiful music by Tchaikovsky. One of my favorite pieces, and it's such a nice contrast sometimes just to have lovely classical music. Much harder to synchronize the timing on graceful moves, isn't it, than sharp movements?
It really is. Because movements are slower, there's more angles to define, more finger definition to define. It's a lot more hard work.
So would the judges really appreciate that? I mean, if they're so well trained, I'm sure they would, but a synchronization error on a sharp movement compared with a synchronization error on a graceful movement, I guess it's still a synchronization error anyway, isn't it, regardless?
It still is nonetheless, but I tend to find sharp movements a little bit more obvious when there's a synchronization error because the intention of the movement is very different.
A lot more intensity, isn't there? I thought that was a really nice performance. They started to look a little bit tired towards the end. Love the design of the costumes. And the whole theme of the black swan and white swan. They're honoured to be competing here. 75.6667, 11th place. So that means that USA have now qualified for the final. Korea unlikely to be in the final because we do have a couple of very good ones still to come, don't we?
We do.
Now welcoming competitors number 70, representing El Salvador, Brigitte Guadron and Gabriela Magana.
Now from El Salvador, Brigitte Guadron, Gabriela Magana, getting some really good experience at this World Junior Championships. This is rock mix.
Strong spin from El Salvador here. You can see a huge improvement from their technical duet from yesterday. A little bit of timing to come down from those spins. Great arms, looking right at the judges. Slightly different out angles, but they still have a smile on their face. Look like they enjoy swimming so much. a fun performance from El Salvador.
Yes, they certainly put everything into it, really, didn't they? And they, as you said, looked like they were enjoying it so much. I had a smile on my face the whole way through that. They've been doing artistic swimming for about 6 years now, have been the duet for 1 year. And I agree with the comment that you made earlier, that it was a much, much better performance than their duet technical. It looked like they'd been working on this a lot more than they had on their sabre dance routine.
I agree with you here. The movements were slightly more refined than the technical duet. A little bit better executed. Yes, when they got tired, there was a few more timing errors, but the more they practice, the more they'll be able to iron those out.
Yeah, so when it comes to the timing, we were talking about it before, should they have prep counts for underneath the water? So a count to make sure that they're ready before they actually go.
Exactly. That is something that they could define during land drill, for instance. That would be very handy.
66.8333. 17th for El Salvador. And valuable experience. And keep working hard with your coaches, Jenny Velez and Mariana Cifuentes. Just 5 more duets to go in this free routine duet preliminary.
Now please welcome competitors number 18, representing Spain,
The duet from Spain, Tatiana Crespo, Mercedes Diaz Sevilla, El Español.
Fantastic stability and control. All while moving too. Almost 3/4 down the length. Good off-angle spin. Slight difference on the angles. Good difficulty. Have great freeze of the movements. They are very expressive. beautiful performance from the Spanish duet.
I feel quite exhausted at the end of that performance. They packed so much into it. They love to use music that represents their country. They're getting so much support here. Now, they won the silver medal at the European Junior Championships with a fantastic score, 86.2. Italy currently in the lead at 85.2. Be interested to see how the scores compare with that. They are definitely going to be in that final six, though, for the final. Been training together for 5 years, but it's the first year that they've actually competed as a duet. The coaches, Virginia Villalba, Andre Fertes. Choreography, Mayuko Fujiki.
The scores for competitors number 18. Note pour les concurrents numéro 18. In execution, 26.000.
87.166. Further improvement on their scores all the time. And that puts them in first place.
En difficulté, 26.1000 pour un total reparti de 87.1667.
Definitely goes to show that Spain has a bright future coming up at the junior level.
Please welcome competitors number 19, representing the Netherlands, Noortje Rijnen and
They've had a long wait, 19th to swim, the Netherlands, Noortje Rijnen, Marloes Steenbeek. The music, Follow Your Dreams, Galaxy Dreams.
Very intricate angles. Beautiful off-angle spin. Excellent, followed by back-to-back spins. Very creative exit here in hybrid. Excellent sustained spin. Very original movement. Slight body line issue on one of the athletes in the thrust. they're still right into the routine, very immersed into it. Excellent performance from the Netherlands.
It's appreciated by their coach, Estelle Jomy. Another duet that was choreographed for the Olympic Games last year, where it was swam by the twins, Noortje de Brouwer and Brechtje de Brouwer. So again, a real honour for them to be swimming it. Marloes actually this year has been swimming with Brechtje, because Noortje has unfortunately had an operation, so hasn't been able to compete. So Marloes has been in senior competitions as well as junior, so has been doing incredibly well. They're part of the Dutch talent programme. 8th in the technical yesterday. So their score in the European Junior Championships was 80.633. If they get a score around about there, they will have definitely qualified for the finals. 81.633, 6th place. And that puts them slightly ahead of Mexico and the USA. Great result for them.
Welcome competitors number 20, representing Germany, Clara Leia and Susanna Hovland.
The team, or the duet, I should say, from Germany. Clara Blair, Susanna Rovna, and this is their Flight of the Bumblebee.
Beautiful synchronization start, the Germans. Slightly different angles coming out to the propeller. They brought it right back close to each other. Great connection movement. Keeping up their energy. Haven't lost it at all. Still very strong control. Wonderful. That was the German duet.
New choreography for them.
Representing Germany.
So I mentioned that it was Flight of the Bumblebee. It wasn't. But their forms, they provide all their music details for us. It's a little cheat on our part, but they do. They need to. And they put Flight of the Bumblebee. But actually, that was a technical program. And I think that was Sirens. But whatever. It was a very good performance, but it just highlights the importance of providing correct information, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Coached by Stella Mokamedova. They've been together for a couple of years now. Their aim is for the finals, so they need a score round about the 79 mark to qualify. The last mark they got was 79.866 at the European Juniors. So we will wait and see whether they have done enough. Yep, that should certainly be enough to get them into the finals. In fact, it definitely will be. 9th with 2 more duets to swim.
Please welcome competitors number 21, representing Japan, Yukina Ota and Moka Fuji.
And the duet from Japan, Yukina Hotta, Wakafuji. Gold in the technical duet. This is White Tiger.
Already made it down the pool. Shows that they're great swimmers. Strong propulsion. Good technique on the figure. Slight differences on the end. A little bit shaky here with one of the legs. And this is because everything else is nearly flawless. You notice every little detail. Excellent. Very strong technical and artistic performance from the Japanese duet.
Yes, they're always sensational to watch.
Representing Japan.
Always very creative. I did feel the levels were slightly different on some of the hybrids. There was certainly high risk in a lot of the moves, and I love the use of the feet to enhance the artistry. Japan, 5 golds and a silver so far, including this pair taking a gold in the technical duet. So the highest scores at the moment, 87.166 from Spain. But remember, this is purely to qualify for finals. None of the scores carry through. So when they swim it in finals, it will be starting from 0 again. So sometimes the way they finish in preliminaries is different to the final result for the medals.
Number 21, les notes pour les concurrentes numéro 21. En exécution, 26.600.
88.3333. So that puts them ahead of Spain by about 1.2. I'm surprised that the difference is as much as that. Very, very high on the artistic impression. And it certainly was a good swim and very artistic.
It was. They had great control of their facial expressions. And as you mentioned, great artistry with the feet to really display the white tiger.
Please welcome our last athletes of this event. Veuillez accueillir les concurrentes numéro 22.
And the last duet to swim. Alice Ponsa, Clara Soni from Switzerland. Their theme, Liberty.
Very strong start for Switzerland. Great difficulty. Slight timing on the way down from the spin. Very minor timing issues when it comes to the end of their figures. The figures themselves are very well executed and on time. Blind connection movement. building up of the energy here. Coming into their fourth length. Slight execution at the end of the spin. Beautiful timing to finish here. Wonderful. Well done to the Swiss duet.
So they will need a score around about 78 to qualify for the finals from my calculations. Obviously we do need to wait till we see the final results, because that's me just scribbling a few notes. Coached by Elodie Hernandez and Alexandra Badova. They train together about 3 times a week. For about a year they've been training together. So this is a big moment for them as to whether they have done enough.
En execution, 23.7000.
They certainly have 78.800, so they do take that final place. They will be absolutely delighted with that. So that does mean disappointment for Great Britain, just missing out on a place in the finals. Very close between Liechtenstein in 11th, 78.86, and Switzerland 78.80. So that's going to be really interesting in the finals, isn't it? Because there's always very much competition between those two nations.
It is, but that is the fun part about the finals event, because they all swim closer together. It'll be easier for the judges to be able to compare execution to execution and difficulty to difficulty.
So we get a chance to see some of the highlights from earlier as we await confirmation of the final rankings. Thoughts from the preliminaries, Jackie?
I thought that we saw some very strong performances here today. And some very artistic ones too at that, as we're watching Italy here. Cruella de Vil, I think, was one of my favorite duets, just because of the storytelling of the routine. They were all fantastic.
So we will still have plenty more action coming from the artistic swimming at the World Junior Championships. Next on the programme will be the men's solo free, which is the inaugural event for the solo free. And that will be at 1 o'clock Quebec time. And then later today at 6:30 Quebec time, we will have the free team preliminaries. So confirmation of the final standings. Japan in first, Spain, Italy, France, Greece, Canada. They will swim towards the end of the draw in the finals. Then Netherlands, Mexico, United States, Germany, Liechtenstein and Switzerland. Great Britain just missing out on a chance of being in the final, which is disappointing for them, but they did a great swim and they should be very proud. And El Salvador 22nd, but a much better swim than they did in the duet technical yesterday. From Jacqueline Simino and myself, Andrea Holland, it's goodbye for now. Please join us again later.